Sunshine's Corner, being brought to you by Quint and Richie Studer. And good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome into Sunshine's Corner. How was your weekend? Did you have a great weekend? I'll tell you what, this is where purpose meets power, conversation creates change. And today we're diving into a topic that's sparkling conversation across our community and the nation. Is all about education, access, and the freedom to read. And joining me today, I tell you, I gotta say this, thank you so much, Miss Linda Russell. She's a retired educator right here in Pensacola, an advocate and affiliate with the Florida Democratic Party. Linda brings decades of experience in education, and today she's speaking out on the growing concern right here in Escambia County, the book bans, which I am ready to hear all about so we can make sure. We're talking about, what they're taking this away from our students, the teachers and the libraries, with reports of over 700 books removed from shelves in 2025. Did you hear me? I said 700 books. And an ongoing federal lawsuit that ties, these decisions. What we're trying to say today is this. The policy, we need to talk about it. The things that's changing, we need to talk about it. The future of learning, let's talk about what's happening, why it matters, and what it means for our community. We have got to stop being quiet. Please help me welcome Linda Russell to Sunshine's Corner. I said Russell, bustle, to
Like Russell.
Like Russell?
With an
F. But Linda, thank you so much. I gotta say this, everybody, I wanna send out a shout out to our commissioner that was gonna be in today, but yesterday he got sick. Last night he called me and I said, don't come in like that. But we had the opportunity to reach out to Linda, and we're gonna talk about something that should be talked about, should never stop talking about. Education, reading, books,
Yes.
knowledge, power. And that's where it all comes from. Linda, I cannot thank you enough for coming in today. I really appreciate that, because you have got something that I think that everybody needs to know about. And it hurt my heart that so many things that's been taken away, like for instance, with the books that's been removed. And I'll say really, the black books and all this kind of good stuff, that people have chosen to just remove them as if it's nothing. As if it doesn't matter when it does.
Absolutely, and thank you for having me.
Thank you so much. And I mean, you see all these books right here, she's all about reading, she's all about knowledge. And some of us, you can tell, when it comes down with me, Linda, things today, even with the things that's trying so hard to be removed, and it's pointed so toward people of color, and a lot of it is pointed toward this tan that I have. It bothers me. I don't understand why. I do understand why, but it really trickles down to say, how low can we go to take away from educating people on culture? I mean, everybody, not just somebody, everybody. How do you feel about things with all this stuff, all these books that's been removed? I still want to take a deep breath.
Well, it is very discouraging as an educator who has relied on media specialists and school libraries for all of my teaching career to supplement what we're doing and to accentuate whatever lessons that we're doing with students. It's been very, very difficult to watch, just with at first, here in Escambia County, it was challenge books, a wide variety of them, and then some of them were reviewed, and then everybody got tired of that and then just decided that books could be removed without any kind of oversight at all, without any kind of review. So that's what we have now. We
Unbelievable.
have all of those books that you mentioned, the 700, have been taken away because they appeared on the state removal book list, which is what every county reports to the Department of Education, State Department of Education, that these are books we took off our shelves. And so Escambia County decided that it was a really good idea to listen to what other counties have taken off And so we're going to do the same thing too. And so that accounted for, from 2022 up to 2025, 24, 25, close to 700 books. Actually, it's more like 900.
Oh my God, it's growing.
We didn't have
It's growing and growing and growing.
We didn't have about 200 of those books in our libraries anyway, but because of the policies that we have in place, there's no way that any of the librarians would ever order them for their libraries,
Right.
or they just become unavailable.
Okay.
So we have a large number of books. Most of them, many of them, are high school level books, and that's kind of what I brought here today. A lot of these books are advanced placement reading books or IB reading books. The Handmaid's Tale, my daughter read this 2 times while she was here at Pensacola High School.
Really?
For her language arts classes. The Help, Kite Runner, most of Stephen King's books. This is my favorite Stephen King book. As you can see, it's well worn and coming apart, The Stand. But almost all of his books have been all of his books have been taken off of the shelves, just for an example.
Exactly. And you know what, I mean, why, I don't understand, I mean, why bother history? I mean, why bother life? Why bother what's important? Why bother different types of culture in all these books? Those are different cultures.
Yes, they are. Yes. And all different kinds of stories. The Life of Pi, this is about India and, much of the, it's kind of like a dream book story. Afghanistan, I learned more about Afghanistan from reading The Kite Runner than I had ever known. And I was an adult at that time. This is one by him too, A Thousand Splendid Suns. Well, A Thousand Splendid Suns has been used at middle school, upper middle school, 8th graders, as a novel study by some folks here. So I don't know what to tell you. I don't know why. I don't know why people are so adverse to a wide variety of stories. Some people believe that, the main complainant believes that that the books are pornographic.
That's what I was going to go there. I mean, come on.
They violate state statute, and there's a lot of intricacies in that you have to, that the book review committees were doing. They were looking to see if those things were true, pornographic or violating state statute. A book has to meet the Miller test, and the Miller test is like a 3-legged stool.
Right. And
you only have to meet. You have to know and understand about one of the criteria. And does a book have any kind of political, scientific, artistic value to it?
Right.
And if you can say, yes, this book has some of those criteria, then that book is not pornographic, according to the Supreme Court of the United States.
Exactly. Well, I think what it is, I mean, when you think about it, with all the books that you've talked about today, and when you see the things that being removed, it is so, my mother and my sister were educators, so I understand totally how you feel in regards to these books being removed. When I say this, how can I put this and be nice? It's so hard to put into words to be nice because you see these things every day, and some people who even say remove these books have never picked up a book to read it.
A person who reads a book lives many lives. A person who doesn't read a book only lives one life.
So it's a whole lot of people out there living one life.
Correct.
Because they want to remove a book and haven't picked up not any of them to read anything.
Correct.
But you can talk a game as if you have. And that is so for the children that's in school that's being educated, they need to know about every character, every person in all these books, because they're all different cultures, where I think that if you understood my culture more, and if I understood yours, there wouldn't be such a separation.
And today in society, it's not necessarily just about culture. It can be about, just different things that many kids, students, young people are experiencing in their lives.
Exactly.
Many of the books that have been challenged in Escambia County are have to do with LGBTQ plus groups in a variety of ways. We've had several books that have been banned because they had a transgender character, and all of them pretty much have been banned.
Absolutely.
A little children's book that showed two women getting married, just holding hands or something, that was challenged. So there's a lot of that anti-LGBTQ that is evident in many of these challenges. And also, I brought some of the original challenge sheets that show, the famous one right now here in Escambia is in Tango Makes Three, which is the children's book about the two penguins that, hatched the egg. And the original reason for objection is LGBTQ agenda using penguins. New Kid, which is a graphic novel by an African-American author, Jerry Croft, received the Newbery Prize Award, which is a big deal in books and literature. And also another one, and it's about a new kid, a black kid who goes into a new school where he is a definite minority, and the different kinds of things that he faces. Race-baiting anti-whiteness was the reason for objection. I don't even know what that means.
Anti-what?
So, I just don't, and so the reasoning and the thinking, and just for African-American authors, for books that have been banned or taken off of the shelves, all of Toni Morrison's books that were in the libraries, Song of Solomon, Bluest Eye, Beloved, Tar Baby, but and other ones that we know about. The Fire Next Time. Pornographic.
That's pornographic because you talk about Tar Baby?
Well, the Bluest Eye, particularly, specifically that I'm more knowledgeable about, has a section of a few pages that have to do with the young girl being, one of the characters being sexually abused by a stepfather or father. And,
but that
graphic
happens.
Detail. But what's done is that, those sections are cherry picked for their language, for whatever it is, without taking in the whole context of the book.
I understand.
And so it's, and the Bluest Eye, we had a big, that was the 1 a.m. in the morning school board meeting to, with lots of people who came out from the community, thank goodness.
Amen.
To let the school board know that it was not okay to take these books off the shelf.
Absolutely.
And you have to have parent permission nowadays.
To read.
To read this book in Escambia and take it from the Escambia County libraries.
Unbelievable.
School libraries, yeah.
With you being a long-time educator, and with the things how it's happening now in the system, how does that make you feel? What does that say to you?
It's just, as I said earlier, it's very discouraging because what you want students to be able to do is to read for enjoyment, to go into a school library, have the media specialist help you find something that you'll enjoy, that you'll like, self-select. So the next time you can go back and do something on your own.
Exactly.
And find that. Because reading, as we've discussed, takes you places.
Exactly.
Many places.
Exactly.
Always. And it's important for kids to know, particularly, not necessarily these books, but a book that they can really identify with and can say, well, this book really helped me understand whatever it is better, more. I didn't feel like I was the only person that this was happening to. A little bit of empathy. Books provide empathies. They provide windows into, a new world.
Oh God, yes.
Doors.
Yes.
Into understanding, greater understanding.
Most certainly. And I can say that because there are some books that I picked up. I mean, Mary Baxter is one of my, she writes Christian books.
Okay.
And she has these books that when I pick it up, I can't put it down. You know, I mean,
Best
I'll
kind.
finish that book because of the stories that she's telling in the books.
Yes.
I cannot put it down. A couple of her books that I had at first, I mean, the first one was Divine Revelation of Hell. I read that book in a night. I couldn't put it down. But it's so...
See, those are the kinds of books that, you know, stay with you.
It sticks with me, and that caused me to go further with her writing. But I say that because even when I've told so many people to this day, I said, if you want a good read, or I'll go back to, it's just so many books that I have that stacked on my table that you can walk in my room right now. I even go back to ordering books like, one that I'm reading is Toxicity. How do you deal with toxicity in places? I've got a book on that. How to deal with that. But books tell you so much.
Helps you recognize those
Help you
kinds of
recognize
things.
so many things
Yes.
that you're dealing with.
Yes. And it's just been such a struggle. You know, the state laws are very limiting also. And fortunately, in this last legislative session, there was a state law, a House bill that didn't make it anywhere that would have further banned more books.
Wow.
Unfortunately, it did not, you know, get out of the House, and that was good. But at the same time, our legislative delegation
Right.
votes for those.
Of course.
Votes for those bills. So
Exactly.
we have a tough time, you know, with, you know, here.
There's a lot going
Getting
on here. We have
people
a tough time
to see
with.
the bigger picture.
Exactly. Let me be the painter. Let me write the book. Well, look, we got to take a break, but I want to tell you, don't go anywhere. Be a part of this conversation, 850-432-7768, because we're talking about something that is very important to us, to our children, to our communities. We're talking about reading. We're talking about books. We're talking about knowledge. Knowledge is power. I think sometimes they want to put you back in a spot where you think you don't know anything. Wrong answer. We're a set of smart people. Look, stay with us. We're going to talk more right here with Miss Linda Fussell on Sunshine's Corner.
For 75 years, we've been caring for families, creating jobs, and working to build a healthier community. This is your home, and ours too. We're honored to be the trusted partner in your care. Baptist Healthcare, here for you then, now, and always.
At FPL, we plan for storm season all year long. We're strengthening poles to better withstand severe weather. We're clearing lines to improve resiliency, and we're constantly training teams to act at a moment's notice. Because we're always working, always preparing. So when storms do hit, you can count on us. FPL, working for you every single day.
Many who consider facial plastic surgery are concerned their results will look unnatural. But with over 20 years of serving the Pensacola community, his thousands of satisfied patients have made Dr. Derek Jones a trusted reconstructive and facial plastic surgeon known for industry-leading results that look natural. Call 850-484-FACE to schedule a consultation at one of our locations in Pensacola and Gulf Breeze.
I'm Dr. Derek Jones. Trust your face to a facial plastic surgeon.
I'm Kathy Holsworth, Artistic Director at Pensacola Little Theater. Join me on the first Monday of every month at 7 p.m. for the Center Stage, where me and my artistic friends talk about all things on the stage and at the Clark Family Cultural Center. Join us, won't you?
Hi, I'm David Apple. I own the Apple Market here in Pensacola on Scenic Highway. We've been in Pensacola since 1996. I've been advertising on Blab now for 15 years. I was a tough sell. Didn't really think that this form of advertising was going to be right for us. But as it turned out, it's probably been the most effective thing that we've ever done. Rarely a week goes by that we don't encounter someone who say, hey, I just saw your show, it was great. I'm David Apple, and I am Blab TV.
And welcome back to the hottest spot in town. This is Sunshine's Corner, talking today with Linda Fussell. We're talking about books. We're talking about reading, the banning of books, how many books been taken away, and the process that goes on and on, even down to the fact about the superintendent of education here in Florida. What I want to say, Linda, is how does this affect students now with the fact, the ability to think critically when it comes to people trying to remove your tools? How do you What do you feel about that? How does that affect them?
Well, gosh, reading books are very helpful in learning to critically think, to be able to discern different kinds of situations, ideas, moral dilemmas, things such as that you can gain through books. The chilling effect is what it's called of banning books, is that media specialists, librarians won't order them.
Okay.
And so you don't have access to them in your school libraries. A lot of people will say, well, you can go down to Barnes & Noble, you can order them from Amazon, you can go to the public library, whatever. But that's really not an accurate depiction of what actually happens, because for many children, they do not have the ability to buy books. Books are expensive.
Absolutely.
Books are expensive pieces. They can't get transportation. They don't have transportation to a library because they're kids. They have to, get there.
Exactly.
The only place where they can read these books is in a school library,
Right.
have access to them.
So they're taking away their accessibility to all these tools that's so needed
Absolutely.
by the
yeah.
adults as well.
Yes, yes. And teachers can't use them in a classroom as a classroom set. There was a classroom set of The Help in Escambia County, and it was taken off the shelves.
So why did they remove that book?
Somebody used it as a novel study.
Right.
This book was on the list, the state removal list, and so
Because it's telling the truth.
another county objected to it, and it was on the list, so we took that book off the shelves.
Because somebody else did.
And made it inaccessible to
Unbelievable.
Escambia County students.
Unbelievable.
So, and that was just since May of 2025, almost a year ago.
Really?
Yeah, almost a year ago was when those policies began to be put into place here in Escambia County.
Unbelievable. It bothers me so much on the inside. I mean, when I say this, even daily with so many things that I see, I have this. It just bothers me on the inside for what I see that's happening, even from the books on to everything else I see that's going on. It really, really, really takes away. Trust.
Oh yeah.
There's no trust. I don't trust anybody.
Absolutely, yeah, and it's very, very difficult. And teachers have done many things. Teachers have classroom libraries. I had a big, huge classroom library. I have a friend of mine that teaches now. She has a gigantic classroom library.
Right.
But she's had to take all of her books down, and they have to reapprove them. And these are all books that she has. They've already been approved, and now because of the new policies, they have to be reapproved. And I'm talking a couple hundred books that she has, but she uses all of those to supplement her study, her classes. She's a social studies teacher, her classes at the high school, because you have to teach students certain things because you have standards that you have to meet. So for instance, if you needed a primary source, and you had a book of primary sources on the civil rights movement, for example, you could use that, but that's not accessible to the kids because it hasn't been reapproved. So there's struggles within our school system now in the classrooms, and many teachers unfortunately packed up their libraries and just took them home.
Wow. So
the kids don't have access because if you finished your work, read a book.
Exactly.
Find a book. And
exactly.
I used to sit around a table when we would have our reading time when I was teaching middle school. We would read The Watsons Go to Birmingham, which is a great book about the Watsons who raising their family of 2 boys and coming down to Birmingham during the 1963 when the bombing occurred at the First Baptist Church. And
these things like that they want to wipe away as if they didn't happen.
And so, they can't have that now.
You can't do that.
They don't do that now. And the kids would follow along. I'd read, they'd read, So, and I would stop and explain certain things to them because,
of course,
you need guidance with that.
Of course.
You need guidance with
I got to say this. Last night when I put your name up, Adam McCoskey,
oh, yeah.
He said,
I know him.
he said, Sonshine, that was my middle school teacher. He and I used to work together in radio.
Okay, yes, I remember the McCloskey.
But I
yes.
told him, I said, I remembered Adam, I was going to tell her you said hi. Okay, now.
Yes.
But with the things that we're talking about today, Linda, it is so unbelievable with the fact that with the education that our children need, the things that are being taken away, it's like a part of history where you want to take out and put something there that didn't happen. I mean, that's the way I see it. What am I saying to you? It matters. Speak up.
Oh, yes.
Please speak up. Do not be afraid. Your voice matters. Speak up. Fight for these things that's so important for us. We are history.
We need people at the school board meetings to, even though they're not doing anything with books now.
Right.
But we need people to speak every month at the school board meeting
ladies and gentlemen,
to let people know that they are not happy with the removal of the books, the difficulty in accessing books, the amount of money that's been spent on federal First Amendment lawsuits.
Oh yeah, talk about that. That's a lot of money.
Yes, it's a lot of money.
But we don't have any money to spend, right?
It's our tax money. And there are 2 federal lawsuits that Escambia County is involved in. And one is with PEN America and about 5 authors and several students here in Escambia County. And one is with the authors of And Tango Makes 3 and 1 student from Escambia County. I call them the Pensacola case and the Tallahassee case. And they are both in the 11th Circuit Court of Appeals at the moment. The school board does not want to be deposed in the Pensacola case.
Right.
So that is what is presently in the 11th Circuit. And the judge ruled against the plaintiffs in the Tango Makes 3 case, and they have appealed to the 11th Circuit. So we're waiting.
Unbelievable.
There's also another case from Central Florida that deals with House Bill 1069, which was removing books that had any sexual content or any sexual anything in them. And I'm not sure.
Let me ask you a
this would be
question,
one of
Linda.
those books.
If we're going to take away everything that has some kind of sexual content in it, you need to take every TV out the house.
Well, and you have to get off of this.
Thank you. You need to throw these away because you can't turn your regular TV on any kind of way unless you got something explicit there.
Absolutely. And
so then, how can you say a book?
These are more of a, of a danger, I think, to students.
They walk around with them like this. They don't even know how to hold a conversation.
And I think as a teacher, one of the things I always enjoyed was watching a kid pick up a book and actually sit down and read it, as opposed to these things nowadays. I don't think that writing books and authors and stories are going to go out of style. I think it will change a little bit because of our, social media and technology and whatnot, but you really do want kids to understand the enjoyment.
Exactly.
Of
Some
reading.
books you can take and put yourself and you become part of the characters in those books. You get so into them.
The Stand for me.
Exactly. With educators, are they feeling restricted, or even with you being in the education field, are they feeling restricted or even fearful of more books that's going to be removed? I mean, all of these things that are happening now.
Well, I'll give a little spiel for my organization, which is Florida Freedom to Read Project, which is
see her T-shirt.
Yes, based down in Orlando, Florida. It started about 2021, 2022 with 3 moms who have kids in public school who noticed that things were happening with books in the libraries.
Right.
So they keep tabs on everything that's going on throughout the state through the laws, which laws are being come with each legislative session. They encourage people to contact their legislators about it. They go and lobby themselves. And I say this because they have great Facebook pages and they have great, social media presence. The other day they put up the list of the books that Clay County, which is over there near Jacksonville, had removed. And we have based our policies on Clay County policies. Escambia County has based the policies that we have to keep the books off the shelves. And so they posted the list that Clay County had listed for removed books for this month. And I looked at it and I said, well, those books are going to be the next books that we will have gone in Escambia County because they'll appear on the state list and we'll have to take them off.
Unbelievable.
Because it's just like an easy line. It was like an easy line. Let's do this because it's easy and we won't have to worry about this anymore. And everybody agreed on the school board. 5-0. That's every single board member that people have elected.
Wow.
Yep.
Unbelievable. What does it mean when, is this taking away the diverse voices in the community? Because we're talking about diversity here as well. A lot of it. It's all diverse. What does that mean for the representation in education? With this trying to be so critically taken away, and for educators, how can they then teach?
Oh, it's very difficult.
Diversity?
To have some, not supposed to do that. There's a law about that.
Teaching diversity?
There's a law about that, yes.
Unbelievable.
Yes. And that started also in 2022.
Right.
Kind of began to lay the groundwork
right.
for, the Don't Say Gay bill. Those types of bills began to appear in 2022 and just became more stringent and updated as the years have gone on.
Right. It's so
But there wasn't so much of an appetite for it this year in the legislature.
Right.
So, and that's a good thing. And it'll be interesting to see with the next election, what will happen.
Come on, people.
Yes.
Come on, my people. I mean,
and that's one of the things you can teach too, is that voting has consequences.
Yes, it does.
Elections have consequences.
Big consequences.
Yes.
Please.
Yes.
If you'd like to be in this conversation, because I believe that knowledge is power. I believe that everybody should learn to read and let kids learn to read. Start them out young. Put a book in front of them, or either get I don't know. Kindle is fine. I like to pick up a book.
Yeah, some people like to listen to the books.
You want to listen to the book, fine. But I like to flip the page, bend the page so I can go back to it. I mean, that's just me, my preference. But look, we're talking today about something that's so important to our community. It all involves all of us. I'm pleading with each and every one of you. Linda says something I've been saying for a long time. Knowledge is power, and of course, your voice matters. Just speak up. Don't allow anybody to just shove something on you. Speak up. Don't allow anybody to just tell you this is how it's going to be. You don't have to settle for that. We're going to talk more, and I encourage you to be in this conversation. I want my writers. I want people. I'm working on my second book, and I want you to read it. We're going to talk more when we return right here on Sunshine's Corner.
You finally found the perfect car in racing blue. You even got them to throw in the LED fog lights for free. Auto Owners insures your car because some people never learn to parallel park. That's simple human sense.
Ask the Messick Insurance Agency in Pensacola if Auto Owners make sense for you.
Keep going, more. No, stop!
It's
It was
heartbreaking.
tough.
And welcome
Just-
back to the hottest spot in town. We're having a conversation today about reading. Reading. Somebody's on the phone. Let's see who this is. I'm glad to knock him off. Good morning.
Hey, good morning, Sonshine. Good morning, Linda. How are you all this morning?
We are wonderful. Hey, Derek. Look, you got Linda. You got Linda smiling, man.
Oh, she's doing a phenomenal job this morning.
Yes, she is.
I just wanted to call in on a couple of things. Linda raised a couple of excellent points, and then I have a question. And I just want to make sure that everybody picked up or just wanted to reiterate the importance of what she said. She talked about the removal of the books and how Escambia County is mirroring what we do off of the actions of other counties, specifically in Clay County. And she talked about that vote was a 5-0 vote, which means that every one of your elected school board members voted to uphold the removal of the books. And I think it's imperative to note that because this year is an election cycle year.
Yes,
and there are 3 members of the school board that are up for re-election, Districts 1, 2, and 3, which are Kevin Adams, Paul Fetzko, and David Williams, respectively.
Right.
And if you are one of those parents who object to seeing this blatant removal of history, the removal of opportunities to have your children live, as Linda said, many lives through the ability to read books, then your opportunity is to express your disapproval of that at the ballot box.
That's right.
When people go to vote on August in the primary, and I just want to make sure that people are aware that, particularly with school board members, those races are often decided in the primary election. So
Exactly.
if you wait until the general election, if you say, okay, I'm not voting in the primary, I'm going to wait until November and vote then, the school board's races are already decided. And so you missed your opportunity to express your voice through your vote. So I just want to make sure that people are aware that that's happening and how critical it is to have representation or people who look out for the interests of children and not to uphold conservative values or biblical values or whatever the case may be, to put the children's education as paramount and priority in their decisions that they make. But I did want to ask Linda to talk a little bit about, if she can, about the proposal to go to an elected versus an appointed school board superintendent, and how that decision is going to be made tomorrow at the Board of County Commissioners. Well, let me rephrase. To put it on the ballot is going to be made at the County Commissioners
tomorrow.
And what can people do to have their voices heard in that regard?
Thanks, Derek, for your question. I think that I think that the best thing to do is to let your Board of County Commissioners know how you feel about that. And just briefly, the school board decided that they wanted to go back to a elected superintendent. It was a 3-2 vote, so it was not necessarily a majority vote.
Right.
And they have to go through the Board of County Commissioners in order to get the referendum put on the statewide primary ballot for August. And what happens in those elections is that in primary elections, because we are a closed primary state, you can only be a member of, or you can only vote in a political party if you're registered in a political party. So only Democrats and Republicans can vote in those elections. And generally primaries seem to have lower turnout. The age group is relatively high in terms of 65 years of age plus are the majority voters. They are white voters generally, and they tend to be conservative voters. And when the school board decided that they wanted it in the primary, I'm pretty sure they knew all of those things.
Yeah.
So that's what they did, and so tomorrow the Board of County Commissioners will vote to uphold that. And what I would ask is that people go, because when you get into the general election, you have everybody. You have your, well, and you know, 65 plus years of age don't necessarily have kids in school. So they would not necessarily benefit directly from an elected superintendent. But people who are younger, people who are not necessarily registered Republicans or Democrats would be at the general election. We have a lot of MPAs in Escambia County, no party affiliates, and they keep increasing. And they would have the opportunity to vote in the general election. And they're younger, and they have kids in school, so they have more of an interest to vote, either to have an appointed or to have an elected superintendent. And
how can we get, Derek, you and Linda, how can we get our community involved to let them see just how important it is for this primary election to be heard? Because even on my show here, because I look at the age groups and I look at the percentage-wise on this hour here, 28% are 65 plus. 21% is 35 plus. Okay, and it's like 19% the 25-54. What I'm saying is, what I want us to do is to increase that 25-54 and get that 12-17 plus up more, because I only got a very small percentage of that age group that watch, because I look at that every day to see the percentage on things that I need to do to increase the age limits to watching the show. And I have, give God the glory, as far as the 25-54 age group has increased percentage-wise.
Interesting.
But that 65 plus is outrageous. It's always 28% or more.
Right, yes.
But what I'm saying, what can we do, Derek, what can we implement that's going to get those people more interested in knowing that don't wait till the general election. You got to do this now during your primaries, because this is when that decision is going to be made.
Yeah, and I just want to make a small adjustment to what Linda was saying, because I know a lot of election laws have changed and things are different. I don't want anybody to walk away with the impression that in the primary that only people who are registered as Democrats or only people who are registered as Republicans in the state of Florida can vote. What I think is a better way to look at it is that in the state of Florida, because it is a close primary, the partisan races are only, people are only able to vote if they're registered as a political party, whether it be Republican or Democrat, right? But, the things that we need to look at in totality is that all politics are local. In these local races, particularly in nonpartisan races like the school board races, the mayoral race, your city council races, everybody has an opportunity to go out and vote. So whether you are registered as an independent or an NPA, whether you're a Democrat, whether you're a Republican, you have an opportunity to vote. But what happens is in the primary elections, because independents and NPAs don't have, maybe oftentimes there's only one thing for them to vote on the ballot, depending upon where they live. So they usually don't go out to vote, in the primary election. So you only typically see partisan voters, so whether Democrats or Republicans go out to vote in those elections. And typically those individuals are 65 plus, they're not the younger demographic.
Exactly.
So this is the opportunity. We've got to do a better job at making sure that those folks below 65, and particularly the people who are parents who have children that are matriculating to the Escambia County School District, know the importance of this primary election. If the referendum passes on Wednesday at the Board of County Commissioners and they do put it on the primary ballot, it's going to be important that they know that they need to get out. So there's going to be an emphasis on making sure that that voice of voters, those independent voters, don't go neglected and they have a say. And we're going to make sure that we push to ensure that everybody gets out to vote. So
That's
we're
what
not
I'm
going to
talking.
just be looking at our Democratic voters to get out to vote in the primary elections. We're going to look at MPAs as particularly those people who are have children who are matriculating to school to let them know that it is time for them to exercise their right to vote. This is not the primary election that you want to sit out.
Not at all. Not at all.
Right.
I agree.
And we just had, the No Kings this past weekend.
Sure did.
And a lot of that energy is still around, I would think. And so if you have that energy, then, use it and come to the county commission tomorrow night and speak to them about, how you feel about putting the referendum on the primary ballot.
Exactly. I saw the number. Derek. Does anybody have a number on how many people showed up for the event this weekend? Somewhat.
I haven't seen one. I looked in the news journal because I had conflicting reports.
Okay.
When I heard someone say 5,000 here locally in Pensacola, I know by the time I got out there were that number I did not see. So I thought in my mind it looked like there were less people than the prior No Kings. But, I got there an hour late, so, I'm probably not the best representative to give a number. But I know it was a very successful turnout. Certainly thousands of people came. Now, whether that number was 1,500 or whether it was 5,000, I'm not sure on that one.
Absolutely. Even though, but I think that what's happening right here, even in the county here, that we are stepping up, but we need to step up more.
Yes, we do.
Always. Step up even more. And I say that for those who do not go out and partake in the primaries, do so. Do so. Your voice matters.
And it's so easy if you vote by mail.
Come on now.
Let me say that.
As a matter of fact, I've got Robert Bender coming on. And it's going to
sign up to vote by mail. You can get your ballot in the mail. You can get it at your house. You can fill it out. You don't even have to pay postage. And you just mail it back.
Just return it back, and it will
be counted. It will get to the supervisor of elections.
Absolutely. And Derek, I tell you, you always filled with knowledge, man. We appreciate you with the perfect kind of love, my brother.
No problem. I love watching you guys. You guys have a great rest of your day.
All righty. Bye now.
Thanks, Derek.
Thanks. Ladies and gentlemen, we got to go take a break, and we're going to come back and talk more. Please, 850-432-7768. That's the number to call where you can be a part of this conversation right here. Let's read about it on Sunshine's Corner.
My name's Kelly McLeod. I'm the owner of Bella Magazine. Bella is a source of uplifting and inspiring content for the women of Pensacola.
I think the magazine is just so thoughtfully done. There's a lot of attention to detail. The stories are really good.
You've got seriousness, you've got fun, education, fashion. It just encompasses everything.
Women are multidimensional, and so is Bella.
The Emerald Coast Utilities Authority's state-of-the-art materials recycling facility processes recyclables for communities throughout the region, lowering need for more landfills. This highly efficient recycling service accepts glass, paper, cardboard, plastics, aluminum, and more. But we need your help. Please make sure your recyclables are clean of garbage, food, and liquids. Also, please remember that plastic shopping bags, foam products, or yard waste are not recyclable. To learn more, go to livegreenecua.com.
From the efficiency of American natural gas and the dependability of nuclear power, to the strength of Florida's sunshine and the flexibility of advanced battery storage systems, we leverage a diverse mix of energy sources to power our growing state, ensuring reliable, low-cost power for your home or business whenever you need it. FPL, working for you every single day.
Well, I think it's all about local, and I'm a big believer in local. So I think anytime you can carry a message out locally, it's important. And I think it's anytime the person that delivers the service can also deliver the message, which is unusual. You have the people that actually deliver the project doing the talking, and I think that's a huge difference, and really makes a huge value difference for the consumer. So I'm really just so grateful that we have this local opportunity with Blab TV. My name is Quint Studer, and I am Blab TV.
And welcome back to this conversation that's so needed. Let's talk education. Let's talk knowledge. Let's talk reading. I'm going to challenge you to read a book. pick up a book and read a book. Now, which one of those came first? Is it 10 or 11? On the phone, talking to my ladies in the back. I guess they're not paying attention to me. Okay. Right, 10 or 11 came first. Okay, here we go. Now, good morning.
Good morning, Sonshine. How you doing?
I am doing well. How about you?
I'm doing good. I am enjoying y'all discussion with Miss Linda. Hello, Miss Linda. Good morning to you as well.
Thank you. Good morning.
He's a writer.
Yes.
Right.
Yes, I want to call in and just put my little input in as a Black local author. I, feel, I was disheartened whenever this all came out, whenever they started removing books. Books are universal. They're about real life. They're about fantasy. And children and everybody of all ages should be able to enjoy books, whatever there is. People have different likes and dislikes. And so what may be good for you may not be good for the next person.
Right.
And so we should be able to have that opportunity to read whatever an author put on those blank pages.
Mm-hmm.
And it shouldn't be an organization or whoever it is that make that decision on what we should read, because then it goes back to you trying to hide truths that they have hidden years ago from a different set of people, and keep them misinformed on different things and all the other things that the world have to offer. And
exactly.
So you're trying to streamline what you want people to know.
I agree.
And that's not right.
Let me ask you a question, because I want to ask you this before you go any further. You wrote the book Juneteenth.
Yes.
What inspired you to write that book about Juneteenth?
So I just had this innate feeling that I wanted to make sure that everybody, not just Black people, not just Latino people, I wanted everybody to have a understanding how Juneteenth come about. Why do we today still celebrate Juneteenth from something that happened so long ago? And I wanted that to be expressed in a way that is simplified and that people will get a clear understanding of why it's so important today as it was back in 1885 and 1863 and 1900s. Like, it is very important, and that's why I had that inspiration. And I asked God to give me the words to be able to make sure that I express it in a way that everybody would get an understanding of it. And there's a lot of history. Juneteenth is just not just Juneteenth. There's a lot of history behind Juneteenth.
Exactly. Eric, thank you. We got 4 minutes. We got another call. I appreciate you so much, my dear.
You're welcome. Y'all keep doing what you're doing and keep on spreading the word.
All right now. Bye now.
Bye-bye.
Good morning.
And there's a lot of history.
Hello? Somebody need to turn the TV down.
Excuse me?
Okay, if you turn the TV down, now you can hear me. Hello?
Hello there.
Hi,
Good
Jeff.
morning, Sonshine. Good morning, Linda.
Hi, Jeff.
Hey, Jeff.
Hey, I know y'all are nearing the top of the hour, but I want to echo the congrats on having a very important conversation. I do have one question for Linda. I would hope that everyone would have concerns about the type of books that are available to teachers and students. Mm-hmm. But for some who may just kind of be neutral on that, they are taxpayers. Linda mentioned the court cases and all that. And so, from a taxpayer's perspective, how much is being spent on this stuff? And, do we know how many extra teachers can be purchased with that amount of money?
Exactly.
So I'd be curious.
Thanks for asking that, because I did not say. I said we were spending a lot of money. Best estimates, and that's all that this is, because I have not gone lately and added everything up. We're closing in on $1 million to litigate those 2 First Amendment federal lawsuits.
$1 million.
Yes, and the Penn America Penguin Random House is the more expensive of the 2 at this point.
Unbelievable.
Because of their, they don't want to be deposed. They feel like there is government speech involved. that you can regulate school libraries through government speech. And it's a new idea, it's a new legal idea that they're just kind of testing out.
Absolutely.
On Escambia County.
Absolutely. I tell you. Well, Jeff, we're down to the last minute, and I thank you so much, my dear friend. And we're going to keep this conversation going because Linda will be back.
Thank y'all. Appreciate y'all.
Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, I tell you what, Linda, I tell you, this hour went by so fast. The deeper we got, the more the clock just got going so fast. I cannot emphasize this strongly enough. If you did not get a chance, watch the show this afternoon at 6 o'clock. There will be a replay at 6 o'clock this afternoon. Go to our YouTube channel. You can get it there as well and just watch it over and over and over. Keep this knowledge going. But mostly, take what we have said today to heart. This is a primary election coming up in August. Exercise your right, your primary election, especially locally. It is utterly important that you use that. Always use that. And the board meeting this went tomorrow night that they have for the
County Board.
Okay,
Board
that's tomorrow night. We want everybody show up.
5:30.
Show up at 5:30. Use your voice. Don't let anybody intimidate you that you can't use it. No. Go out and speak loudly. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been a fantastic day. Linda, I thank you. I will have you back, and we got to continue this conversation. I've got to go, but I want to remind you, as I do every single day, never, ever, ever, ever lose your focus. Always remember, if you keep your focus, keep God first, I'll guarantee you this, you're going to be a total success. So until tomorrow for another day of sunshine and information, know that I do love you with a perfect kind of love. So until then, go out and tell somebody you love them and mean it. Bye for now. Keep shining while I'm gone. Have a great day. Thank you so much.
Sunshine's Corner, being brought to you by Quint and Richie Studer.